and know where to go. I know dark clouds will gather round me. I know my way is rough and steep, but golden fields lie out before me, where God's redeemed shall ever sleep. I need to find somewhere better than this. I can't feel a thing. I'm going there to see my mother. She said she'd meet me when I come. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. Suddenly I see light in the bleak midwinter. A small town nestled deep in the woods, asleep dreaming the passage of time, all except for one single brick building, its windows glowing with light, beacons for the lost. I see it's a bar, a dimply lit sign flickers above the entrance. On it is a name emblazoned in pale golden letters. The Hearth and Home. It'll do. I push past the door and enter in out of the snoring light. I enter in out of the snoring night. Once inside, I take off my gloves and rub my hands together for warmth. It takes too long to feel my fingers again. I close my tired eyes and try and take in the sounds of the bar. It's busier than I'd expect in a town like this. There's a low murmur dispersed in the air. Some people are here in groups, and many are like me, alone. It's good to see people again. I slip my gloves into my coat and take a seat. Our bartender spots me from behind a row of drying glasses and approaches. Evening. A beer, please. I only order it so I can stay. The bartender fills a glass from the tap. Traveling through. He places the drink in front of me. The liquid in the glass shines like oil under the pale, mellow lights of the bar. Yeah. I drink it all at once. It brings some fire back into my blood. Can't I know what business brought you here? How do you know I'm not traveling for pleasure? Pleasure doesn't come this far north this time of year. I smirk. Maybe I got lost. Maybe you did. He takes my glass and steps away. I take a glance out the window while he's gone. The night is black and thick with snow. I should stay a while longer. It won't let up soon. Cedar, Maine. Population, little over 2,000. I was able to make out the sign off the highway exit before the storm got too bad. Originally, I had meant to make it all the way to the other side. Hitchhiking got harder after sunset, when it got too cold to be outside. I headed off the road to the nearest place I could find. This place wasn't too bad. Reminded me of simpler times. I'll stay here for the night, not that I have a choice. It feels nice to just sit for a change. Sometimes you move so much you feel like you're not the one moving anymore. Like you're drifting. Sometimes though, it's fine. When I can just stop and let things pass me by. After a while I notice a change in the air. The curtain of small talk lowers into silence. The clinks of plates and glasses melts away. A small crowd begins to form in one corner of the bar. I walk over to look at what's going on and watch as someone gets up onto a small unlit stage. It's excuse me, a girl. A girl in a green dress is about to sing. The girl gazes with her deep brown eyes at the expectant faces all around her. A hush falls over the crowd as she leans into the microphone. Her face betrays not a single emotion, but pure wonder. It's almost as if she's somewhere else, remembering better times, preparing to sing to herself in a world that stood still, hanging off her every word. She begins softly, her voice barely above a whisper. Bayan Bonnie Banks. I'm not gonna sing this. I don't have a singing voice, and two, I don't know this song. Bayan Bonnie Banks and Bayan Bonnie Braes, where the sun shines bright on Loch Lomond. I know this song. where me and my true love will never meet again. On the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Of course I know this song. The small birds they sing and the wildflowers spring, and in sunshine the waters are sleeping, where the broken-hearted can know no second spring again. Though the woeful may cease from their grieving, you'll take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland before you, but me and my true love will never meet again. On the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond. After her rendition of Loch Lomond, the girl continues to perform, singing various other folk songs. The audience continues to be mesmerized by every movement of her parted lips. The bar is eerily silent, and not a single person dare move. Her voice is magical, perhaps the most beautiful I've heard in all my life. I've never been this absorbed in a song before. The voice of the girl in the green dress grows and grows and grows, only to fill the air with complete emotion, feelings, seething with energy. Like her voice is an endless flowing spring, and to listen to it is to drink and drink and drink again. I've never felt this way before. I doubt I will again. When she finally finished her set, the girl in the green dress takes a fateful step back from the microphone. Her skin beads with sweat. Her chest heaves up and down to the rhythmic beat of her exhausted heart. Her posture is tired but proud, her breath short but steady, her eyes somber but bright, vibrant with fire. As I watch her in this precious little moment of silence, it seems all time stops. The sheer intensity of this moment breaks over me like a cold ocean wave. The sadness I feel at its impermanence, its immediate beginning and end, pulls me under. I am washed in fascination, and in that moment, the passage of time resumes. It flows unhindered, ignorant that so much change had just taken place in my inner self in that brief window of frozen time. That change in my heart has just set forth in motion a long, long story. One that will not end for a very long time. A story about meeting people and saying goodbye to people. A story about arrivals and departures. A story about time. I sit alone for a while, taking this all in. After I regain my senses, I shake myself off and return to my seat at the bar. I see someone's cleared my glass from the counter. The bartender spots me at the corner of his eye and comes over. Another? I might be staying here longer than I thought. Just one. The man fulfills my request, pouring another glass full of the amber drink and placing it down before me. He takes a look around the bar as he wipes and washes plates. The sink isn't too far from my seat, and he can talk to me while he works. Busy night tonight? Busier than usual? Much. So even this counts as much busier than usual. This must be a smaller town than I'd originally thought. The girl helps? The bartender nods knowingly. Oh, the girl helps. Is she a real singer? I suppose any singer's a real one, but no, she's not a professional. We could never afford someone like that. Then what is she? She's young, about your age. About my age. One of those student types. A student? All the way out here. The bartender doesn't seem to take offense on my job at his hometown. Don't know. She's been in town about a month now. Stays in the motel across the bridge. Usually, we don't have music, but she's willing to work for cheap. She's good. She's affordable. I take a sip of my beer. From the bartender's description, the girl in the green dress seems interesting. I'd like to talk to her, if I can. You let people talk to her after sets? He seems incredibly unsurprised. No, but you seem like a nice enough guy, so go ahead. I'll warn you though, no one's lasted long in a conversation with her. I take a bigger sip and cock my head. Why is that? Seems to be she's an ice cream. She's polite enough, just doesn't say very much. Doesn't want to open up to anyone about anything, that kind of girl. What? A bar singer who's too shy to talk to people? In the flesh. Of all the thoughts that crossed my mind while she was on stage, I didn't once imagine her to be shy. It must take a lot of courage to get out there and sing. So she's brave on the outside. But what's on the inside? What makes her shy? There must be something hidden in all this. I'm far too interested to back out now. I finish off my drink the last drop. I think I'll take my chances. You tread a dangerous path. Then he nodded at something behind me. There she is now. Go ahead before she leaves. I took out some money and tucked it under my glass as payment and stand up from my seat. Your sacrifice will be remembered throughout all of northern Maine. Out of the darkness and the crowd, I spot the girl in the green dress making her way toward the door. She's tugging the sides of her coat tight around her, like she's trying to make herself look as small as she can. I wave her over before she can leave. She sees me and stares at me blankly while I approach her. She seems surprised. That's her. That's the girl. God, she's beautiful. I can't take my eyes off her. She's absolutely breathtaking. But she's not saying a word. You're not going to want to leave for a while. There's a big snowstorm raging outside. Alright. Thank you. Off to a bad start. Actually, I was wondering if I could talk to you for a minute. It can only get worse from here. The girl in the green dress takes a moment to digest all this. Then she raises her eyebrows like she's confused but doesn't want to admit it. Well, what do you want to talk about? Well, about things. It got worse from here. God, I've not done this in so long. The girl visibly recoils. I think she's trying to hold back laughter. I shake my head and smile. Time to try again. Here, what I mean is this. I listen to you sing up on the stage. You have a really pretty voice, and I'd like to talk to you about your singing. If you'll have me, that is. I think I did better that time. I think. The girl stares at me for a little while longer. I'm helpless to gauge her reaction, how her reaction will be. Then, of all things, she smiles. No one's ever asked me about my singing before. Success! I'm honored to break tradition. The girl lets out a small snicker. She lets go of the sides of her coat and rests her hands meekly at her sides. Hi, I'm Emmeline. Good evening, Emmeline. Let me buy you a drink. I turn to be beside her and begin to lead her toward the bar. I haven't spoken to people like this in a long time. I wonder what's come over me. I'm finding it so easy, natural even, like I'm acting out my own life, not observing it. Must be something in the air. You too good for now? Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Yes. Alright. Once the two of us are alone, I raise my glass and Emmeline hers. They sound together with a definite clink. Cheers. Cheers. Emmeline eagerly raises her glass to her lips and sips away. You have expensive taste in alcohol. She shrugs. Just for tonight. Smart. Silently, we drink to our healths. Afterward follow brief introductions. I learn Emmeline is 22, and I tell her I'm 25. You look much younger than 25. I get that a lot. We start to get to know each other a little better. Me? A professional singer? No? Not even close. Well, I'm sorry to have assumed. No, singing's just a pastime of mine. I've liked it since I was a kid, and I do it when I can for money. It's nothing serious. If it's a passion of yours, then it's not nothing serious. It's not what I went to school for, is what I mean. What did you go to school for? I was studying to become a nurse. I wasn't interested in it or anything, but it was safe. There's still lots of people out there who don't like to see an educated woman. That's why this is the 60s, isn't it? This seems personal. I hope I'm not prying. And you've graduated? No. Oh, I'm sorry. What happened? Well, I'm not sure you'd want to get into it. I don't know what your politics are. I don't really involve myself with that. I don't keep myself too current. I don't have any strong opinions, if that's what you're worried about. Sorry, I'm not tired. Talking for a long time, I use up a lot of breath, and so I yawn to get that breath back. At least that's how it's always been. I don't know. I think it's these voices. I'm listening. Oh, one voice. I'm listening. Anything you can think of to say, you can say, and I'll listen. Well, I was expelled from school, from protesting the war. That was a thing that could happen back then, wasn't it? Yeah. 60s. I think, right? That's what it was, the 60s? 1967? Which war was she talking about? God, I need to brush up on my history. Expelled from school for taking part in peaceful protest? That can't be allowed. It wasn't too peaceful in the end. Ah, that explains it. It does. We stopped to sip our drinks, and I mull over in my mind what to say next. Well, I'm sorry to have pried. Emmeline's face softens. Really, it's fine. It's nice to get to talk about it with someone. I take it there aren't too many new opportunities to talk to people here in Cedar. Not here, no. Can I ask how you ended up here? You could, but it's not a fun story. You can imagine my parents weren't very big fans of my expulsion. I figured. They were livid, engorged with rage. You think they were going to eat me, they were so angry. I have never heard this terminology before. Engorged with rage. You think they were going to eat me? That's funny as hell. Like they were going to lock me up in the cellar and bury the key. God, her parents were that angry? Jesus. While she's talking, her voice becomes strained. Obviously, this is reopening old wounds for her. I feel bad for bringing it up now. They started pressuring me to find a husband. Showed me off to any rich young men or family friends who came by, trying to convince me to give myself up and marry a complete stranger. Made me feel like I was a hunk of meat being peddled in some marketplace. To them, my failure had branded me a commodity. I'd become a damaged good. Something to be sold off, my value to be measured in nothing but the children I would bear. I couldn't take it. I absolutely couldn't live like that. So you took off. You could tell? You seem the type. This makes Emmeline loosen up again, but only a little. That's good. I have to try to help her feel better. I hope I didn't spoil her night. And since she is smiling, this seems like a good place to end the episode. Sorry. This seems like a good place to end the episode. I'm running out of time. I need to get this and the other other video that I recorded, edited, and uploaded before I had to leave for work at Walmart today. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, give that like button some love. If you wonder what I'm looking at, I'm looking over here to the side where I have OBS recording to make sure that it is recording and then freeze again. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Oh shit. Shit. I almost closed out the game without saving. I think it auto saves, but at the same time, I almost closed out of it without saving. Also, I haven't been given any choices in this game yet, so I'm wondering if this has any choices, or is this just gonna be something that I just go through and just read everything in voices. It's gonna be interesting. Well, see ya.